Alright, it's review time, and it's a little different. Uh, People were talking about it, and I heard there was a show that wasn't the typical TNA pay-per-view, so I was like, oh, so you mean it was good? And that's what people said, so I went and watched Destination X, and I'm going to review it. Just click, click. Gotta get my match order right. Alright, okay, so my Destination X review. Oh yeah, we had Christy Hemme doing the introduction, which was just atrocious. Basically, she can't wrestle, act, sing, or announce for shit. But Batista would be the judge if she's good at anything else. Talentless though. First match was Kaz versus Samoa Joe. I don't know, this was solid. It was built up around a bar fight on Impact or something, which is the stupidest thing ever. Unless you're the APA. So yeah, I didn't like it. Crowd was very easy to impress. Her chanting, "This is awesome" for a match that should have been chanting slightly above average. But yeah, I don't know. The finish was complete crap, and the wrong man won. It kind of like turned the crowd off, and yeah, we're off to so-so start. You know, it was below 3 stars. Some people had like 3.5, 3 3/4. Come on. Just because Joe didn't suck in a match, and he has in most of his recent matches. All right, then we had Douglas Williams versus Mark Haskins. I guess this was a open challenge or some shit like that. Uh, Williams cut a promo. It was long and drawn out. It was just shitty, and it was unnecessary. And yeah, and then Haskins comes out. No one knows who he is or asking who he is even. They wrestled the European catch style, but way too fast. It was like rushed. Obviously, that was booking, but yeah, this match didn't need to be on the air. It was a completely shit finish. Everyone wanted to see the Chaos Theory. We got another cheap roll up, which is what you want on a pay-per-view, not on an Impact match. Come on, assholes. All right, then we get an Austin Aries promo, which is the best part of the show to this point, easily. Then we got Eric Young and Shark Boy versus Generation Me. Shark Boy and Eric Young kind of just met up at an autograph signing earlier that day, and I don't know, aligned. Really stupid. What the fuck? I'm glad the Young Bucks are now free from their TNA shackles since they asked for their release. It's very good news for wrestling fans. Because TNA isn't exactly a wrestling company anymore. But whatever. Yeah, Young and Shark Boy can't figure out who they want to start the match and like which one of them. So they just that was an interruption. Don't worry about it. So they just kind of I don't know argue over who's going to be the first guy in. And it gets too drawn out, and classic TNA. They fucked up something that could have been funny. Speaking of vintage TNA, the best move by I think it was Max Buck was completely missed by the camera. Good job, guys. And, yeah, this is actually the first proper finish of the show, though, so that's good. Then we got a Zema Ion promo or whatever his name is. Really, this was just shit. If you're gonna give this guy a live mic, why don't you give Alex Shelley one? Like, goddamn, fuck that company. Then we had the most randomly compiled X-Division match in history. Yeah, that's what I call it. That's for the #1 contendership to the X title. Alex Shelley versus Amazing Red versus Shannon Moron versus Robbie. Get the fuck out of here, E. Yeah, I don't know. My head hurts kind of after this match still. First up, you have Shannon Moore, who's a bigger disgrace to punk rock than Robbie E is to greasy douchebags. And yeah, fuck both of them. They weren't. No one watched the match for them. Borash and Tenay like delay like 3 or 4 minutes talking because the crew's still setting up the X thing, which is pathetic and bush league. It's like the definition of bush league. I don't know. Shelley and Red were the over guys in the match, and the wrestlers in the match. The poser punk was alright. That's more if you don't know. And yeah, I don't know. Robbie had his fist on his ass of his attire, so I assume he likes fisting. Didn't know Guidos are into that. Apparently they are. Yeah, the match had like no structure. It was just spots being thrown out, and this annoying bitch Cookie yelling like Vicky Guerrero the whole time. You know, only she wasn't over like Vicky. So she's a waste of time. Yeah, I don't know. Moore got on top of the thing about the X and tried to drop down. The whole thing was stupid and it was anticlimactic as fuck at the end. And totally unworthy in Ultimate X match. The only saving grace is Shelley won, and he's challenging the champion. So match was pretty horrible. I can't even rate it. Then low key cuts a boring promo, like every promo he's ever cut, and don't give him a microphone. That's part of his mystique. He doesn't speak. Idiots. Yeah, TNA builds up Styles versus Daniels. They show highlights like through the whole night with their matches, their tag matches, the triple threat, the three-way dance. Sorry. So yeah, it's one of the only things that doesn't go wrong with the show early on. So then we have Jerry Lynn versus RVD package with tremendous build-up. And we get a lot of history, and I don't know, this is a good match. The crowd is really hyped, cheering for both men. They're about 50-50. I'm more of a Jerry Lynn guy. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. No. I think that RVD's still good, but at least Jerry Lynn cares about every match he's in. He doesn't treat matches like they're just whatever until a certain point, so I give him props for that. This had all the classic moves and counters to counters and counters to counters to counters. It's just a really good match. A lot of intensity. RVD got his eyebrows split open, which is actually kind of vintage. But yeah, it was actually by accident, so that was good. Yeah, the match was really great. Had a good finish, and yeah, I like that Lynn actually played the asshole role better than RVD ever has. Underrated. Then we get Jack Evans promo. He actually quotes Eminem, and surprisingly, it's not terrible. If I would have quoted Lil Wayne, I would have shut the thing off. Alright, then Christy Hemme makes a horrifying botch, but it's hilarious too. And it's not her first time or the last of the night. Alright, then we have a four-way for the TNA contract. Austin Aries versus Low Key versus Jack Evans versus Ion. I think. This has got to be the TNA match of the year. Other than the generic TNA theme music, which everyone has, not just the guys that weren't signed. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard better music in B-level porn movies. One thing, another thing. Why does a B-boy wear MMA gloves, even when he throws no punches? It's for grip. Fucking Mexico. Very well put together match. Evans and Ian played like their roles perfectly, and they came in when they needed to. They hit their spots. And it was the best I've ever seen Jack Evans look, which is a huge compliment coming from a guy who pretty much hates him. I don't hate him anymore. He looks like he's a crackhead, but I don't hate him. Alright, yeah, low-key looked great in this match. Better than his entire WWE run easily. Ion looked like a potential guy, I don't know. There's a chance he'll just bomb out, but whatever. And Aries was the most impressive in the match, by far the most talented, the best talker. I mean, his promo early in the show was the best freaking part of the show until this match, basically. So, yeah, great stuff. Your winner is the most talented man in the match. Yes. Ooh. Alright, then we have TNA X-Division Championship. Abyss, the champion, versus Brian Kendrick. Abyss is reading The Art of War, and he's not as much of a weapon guy, so fucking stupid. The Art of War. Whoever makes the most money wins. That's all war is, money. Alright, yeah, the end result was great, but the match itself is such a colossal clusterfuck. You had the basic idea of size and power versus speed and intelligence, but then Abyss pulls out the Art of War in the middle of the fucking match, reads it, gives Kendrick like 2 minutes to recover. Just really dumb. I my hat's off to Kendrick for putting up with this bullshit and actually putting on a good performance. But yeah, Abyss, fuck you. This is just a total clusterfuck, but somehow it worked. Alright, then we had the pre-main event video package between about Daniels and Styles. Are pretty much they're training together, they're like spotting each other. And, you know, it makes sense. They're like best friends. They play that up. So yeah, Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles in the main event. Yeah, I scored this one like 3 3/4 at the most. Um, I guess they kind of build it around who's the greatest X-Division wrestler of all time. And I understood this wasn't going to be a spot fest with two wrestlers this well-rounded, but they had about 30 arm drags in 10 minutes, and it was dragging, no pun intended. And it was still a really good match. It definitely dragged too long. It should have been probably 18, 19 minutes tops, and they didn't need to drag it out, but, you know, it was all right. Just a little too long. You know, he had great spots and the counters, and it just wasn't what the other matches were. And that's because they weren't concerned about time then. And obviously they were trying to drag it out this time. Both men got tired, which shows their age, and I don't like that. Well, overall, the show could have been much better. It's the fact that it was a TNA show and it didn't blow in 2011 like all the other ones. That's pretty great. I just 7 out of 10, maybe 6.75. Either way, it was definitely a good show. One match I would say you have to watch, but everything else, not really. All right, I've been Sean. This has been my review, and I will have a Money in the Bank review up because some friends and I are getting together. CM Punk is your god. Kneel before Punk. All right, seriously though, he is. Money in the Bank coming up. Destination X review. Adios.